pretty much going to get right to it. Fans, Fan Fusion 2023, this is the way. This is Katee Sackoof.
I know my line was moving so fast today, and so I appreciate every single person who waited, and I know that I would love to, I would stand there and talk to every single person for an hour. But I appreciate you, and I understand that it's a quick line, so thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
I think a lot of people are definitely excited to see you, and we're just so grateful that you came back. Yes, loved seeing you in 2015, once upon a time, but very happy you're here. And a lot's changed. A lot's changed for you, a lot's changed in your career, and wonderful new beginnings in your life. Something about a beautiful little one.
I know that you're talking about Grogu, right?
Well, actually, I sort of am. I like the way you set me up for that. Thank you very much. Well done. I thought it was interesting. I'm a huge fan of The Mandalorian. I absolutely loved this last season. I've loved all the seasons, but I was all in. We watch it as a family. I have a little one as well. But one of the things I thought was interesting was the show has really explored themes of fatherhood. And this season, it gave an opportunity to look at some other things, motherhood a little bit. That's what it seems to me, at least. So I guess I'm asking a very open-ended question to say, you nodded your head, so obviously you kind of picked up on that, or maybe that was deliberate, I don't know. Can you talk a little bit about times in the show when you were able to explore that a little, whether it was having him on your lap, or the scene that I loved where you talked to him and said, my dad was just like this. All right, I'm going to let you say a few things. When we're done with that, I will go ahead and get to some audience questions. So,
yeah. It was such a strange season because my daughter was born, right quickly after we started filming. And so to sort of be going through that transition in my own personal life and then be having these scenes with Grogu, I think sort of set me up to have these feelings. Maybe I think I projected on that a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. But I think that Bo is reluctant in a lot of her life. She's a reluctant hero. She's a reluctant leader. She's a reluctant caretaker and friend. Like, she doesn't lean into these roles very well. And so I think that. This season for her was such a beautiful sort of transition in her life where she was letting go of her ego, letting people in, and finding the right way to walk the way, if you will. And so I think it was sort of like I was doing that as well. I didn't think that motherhood would change me. I know. It was like the moment the doctor handed me my daughter, I was like, I have to do what? Go to work? What? No, I'll just stay here forever. I never want to leave my house. I just want to hang out with her. She's so funny.
Well, I was thinking that. I was like, all right, we're going to try and get you out so you can get home. If I were in your shoes, that's what I'd want to be doing. I'm sure.
I know. Although I do sleep much better when I'm not with her.
A little break is a good thing.
My poor husband.
It's too funny. Well, I see we already have lines forming, so we've got questions here, questions there. Again, please try and limit yourself to one question. Thank you. All right, we'll kick over to you.
Hi, Katee. I'm Trey.
Hi.
Part of the 2%. My question for you is there anywhere specifically in Bo-Katan's life that we haven't seen yet that you would like to maybe eventually
Yeah.
some series or something?
For sure, for sure. I mean, there's so much about Bo that we don't know, that because we weren't privy to actually viewing that sort of like loss of time. You know, I think that for me, and I keep saying this, and this season was not the season to dive into it, but I do believe that the moment that Satine died, Bo's life shifted forever. And I think that from that moment, her life was trying to atone for something that was irredeemable. So I think that she will live the rest of her life in service of others, because she's trying to make amends for that. I would love to dive into that a little bit more, just because I love the idea of that. You know, I think that we saw a much more vulnerable, broken Bo than we've ever seen before, and so I'd like to sort of like dive into what that was all about. I think we got a little bit of that this season, but that's always fun for me, you know. I love to lean into the drama. Thank you.
Okay, so you play several characters in different roles in different movies. How did it feel to do the Big Bang Theory and do yourself?
It was so surreal to try and play yourself, but like a caricature of yourself as well. And I just remember when I was in the bathtub with Simon, it was like a home party in a bathtub, because we were fully clothed in that bathtub. But we kept sliding down. There's no water in the tub, just a bunch of bubbles, and we kept sliding down, and so we had to press our feet into each other, because I kept sliding and kicking him in places that he was and I couldn't help it. It was so slippery. I'd like slide down and be like, I'm sorry. Like trying so desperately to like look sexy, which is like not, you know, it just does not, like, that was like so hard for me. And so it was just so much fun, and that entire cast just so welcoming, and they're so talented, and so to be able to do that was just awesome.
Hi, Katee. So I say this on behalf of me and my Discord group that we love you so much. We just have a question. So I know you talked about how being like having the helmet is kind of helps you like mask your expressions, but also you show your expressions a lot through your face. Like we saw that in Character, we saw that in episodes of Bo, especially in like Guns for Hire. So are there any moments that you were wearing your helmet that you wish you weren't, so that you could express your emotions more, even though Bo is more stoic side, but you know she kind of glances at Jen and Grogu a lot and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have to say that I wish I had my helmet on for a lot more of episode 6. Because keeping a straight face around Jack and Lizzo was like one of the hardest things ever. Like I was like, why am I the straight guy in this episode? This is so unfair. And then John was like, no, you can be amused by them. I was like, oh, thank God. Because like it was so hard, because he is just like off the cuff. He does whatever he wants to do. And so I was just like, what is this hell I'm in? Like trying not to laugh. So I don't know, I mean, there's definitely scenes like, you know, I think all of episode 4 would have been really cool to have a bit of the helmet off. But it poses an entirely different set of challenges when the helmet is on, because you're having to convey emotion through your body and your movements and things. And as an actor, it's for me, I love it. It's such a different challenge, because you learn, you know, subtlety, but also you realize that like subtlety with the helmet on is you're just not moving. So there'll be moments where I think that like I'm being really, really like tough or like really something, and then I go and I look at the monitor and like I didn't move. Like, oh God. So it was I love both sides of it for sure. So, yeah.
So my question is, how does it feel to not only have been like the model and voice for Bo-Katan, but to be given this amazing opportunity to portray the character in live action, to be the physical character, that they didn't want some other actor to play it, they wanted you to play this character and make that transition from the animated version to live action?
I try not to think about it too much because I get overwhelmed sometimes. You know, like even like talking in front of you guys, if I pause long enough, I start to shake because my adrenaline takes over. So I just try to like, you know, I just keep pushing through. But to think about it like that, you know, I never dreamed when I first started in this industry that this would be my career, you know. I think that every job after that first one is sort of like icing. And so to be able to be a part of this show, even just in the animated show, I hate to say even just, excuse me, that's slip of the tongue, but to be a part of the animated series and then to go into live action, I just,
Hey, bud. Do you think it would be harder to play the voice for an animated series or be the actual person?
so, it's a different kind of thing, right? So like with animation, it has so much less to do with me personally because you're really just trying to convey what the creator wants. So for Bo, Dave Filoni is the guy who wrote it and created it. So he was there sort of really leading me into who he wanted Bo to be and what he wanted Bo to sound like. So in that sense, it makes it so much easier because you don't have to think as much. Once I went into the animated show, or the live action show, it puts much more pressure on yourself to make decisions and actually figure out what you want them to be. So I have to say, for different reasons, live action is probably more challenging just because you have to think a lot more. But I think animated is hard because you have so much to convey with only one tiny facet of your whole persona, right? So both of them, but for different reasons. Probably harder to do live action though. You're welcome.
Especially with the new season and getting to see more of Bo's character development. So I guess my question would be, so my first experience with you on screen was with along playing Detective Murray. I just love that show. So my question is like, in a flashback or even like in the series at some point, who would you like to see play? So like the Mandalorian arc is my favorite arc in Clone Wars. So like and Death Watch. So who would you like to see play an on-screen live action pre-Vizsla and some of your fellow cast members for Death Watch?
Oh my god. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I just think of John all the time. Yeah, I just think of Favreau. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't thought about it that much. But because there are some phenomenal actors. Like I love Sam, I mean, obviously, you know, someone else played Darth Maul, but Sam Witwer is such a talent that I would love to see him. And he's such a fan of the world. I would love to see Sam in live action. I think it'd be super cool. You know, so yeah, that's the one that's like popping into my head. And I've already like stunt casted Kate Blanchett as Satine, so in my head, right? She's such a master.
That's great because the cheekbones I could see
She's
absolutely as your sister.
And she looks like Satine. Like she's just as amazing, and like she's just such a talent. So I don't know as far as anyone else is concerned. I have no idea. I have no idea. Now I have no idea. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I feel like I'm going to text Dave as soon as I get out of here.
Mention Kate Blanchett again.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm her daughter, Katee.
I love that you named your child Catherica, by the way.
I think there's a whole story. Don't.
I was just wondering, so was it difficult to be in like the armor like all day